Everything Charles did to destroy Diana is now destroying him. Every cruelty, every weapon, every lie, coming back, verified polling, palace records, and 3 biographers built the case Diana never lived to make. He broke her health. His body is breaking. He silenced her. His son published 416 pages. He called her unstable. The word now describes his reign. I'm revealing 20 cruelties Charles inflicted on Diana and showing you exactly how each one is now happening to him. Karma 9 is the one Diana said broke her most completely. And 20? That's the one that proves Diana's son already won. It starts with her wedding day. Number 1, the health mirror. Diana's worst day was her wedding. Charles's worst day. Every day since February 2024. He married Diana knowing he loved Camilla. She told Morton, "The worst day of my life." 750 million people watched her walk toward a man who loved someone else. February 2024. Buckingham Palace confirms Charles has cancer. Treatment runs nearly 2 years. March 2025 hospitalization. Diana's suffering was caused by someone else. Charles's is coming from within his own body. She was 20 years old, walking toward a man who loved someone else. And now, his body betrays him the way his heart betrayed her. Charles inflicted Diana's deepest wound with a single word. That word is now following his monarchy everywhere it goes. They called her unstable. That word now describes his reign. Number 2, the label mirror. Charles called Diana unstable, the word the world now uses about his monarchy. Unsustainable. I need you to hear this. They used a medical label as a weapon. Diana told the BBC, "They suggested I should be put in a home." Not concern. Strategy. Label the witness fragile and the testimony disappears with her. Cancer. Andrew arrested, Harry 5,000 miles away. Only 23% support Queen Camilla. Charles weaponized clinical language to silence Diana. The same language now describes his crumbling monarchy. Unstable. They said she was unstable, and now his reign is the unstable one. Diana was never unstable. She was surrounded by unstable people. The label cracked his image. But the next humiliation came from inside his own bloodline. Deliberately. His son. 416 pages in 15 languages. On purpose. Number 3. The exposure mirror. A stranger's recording destroyed Charles in 1993. His own son destroyed him again, deliberately, in 15 languages in 2023. The Camillagate tape leaked. Diana carried that humiliation for the rest of her life. Spare January 2023. 1.43 million copies on day 1. Private arguments, physical confrontations, intimate details Charles spent decades protecting. A stranger breached his privacy in 1993. His own son demolished it in 2023, by choice, in 15 languages. Think about that distinction, an accident versus a decision. The tape was an accident, the book was a decision. His own son looked at his father's secrets and said, "The world deserves to know." That is karma with a name. 3 mirrors. Diana said a number in 1995. Sound familiar? The universe is repeating it. Right now. There were 3 of us. Now there are 3 crises, the same number. Number 4. The number mirror. Diana said there were 3 people in her marriage. Charles now has 3 crises. Health, Harry, and Andrew, that won't leave. 54 million viewers heard her say it in November 1995. Cancer, 2024. Harry's estrangement, 2020. Andrew's arrest, February 19th, 2026. Diana named the number. The universe handed it back with different names. Health, Harry, Andrew. 3 crises destroying his monarchy. Diana said the number. The universe repeated it. 4 mirrors. Every cruelty reflecting back. I want to get to Karma 9, the mental health gaslighting, the one Diana said broke her most completely. But first you need to see what Charles built against her publicly. He didn't wound Diana behind closed doors only. He used the entire palace against her. That was the marriage. Now the war. Charles built a press weapon against Diana and had no idea it was going to turn around. He controlled every headline about Diana. He controls none about himself. Number 5, the press mirror. Charles controlled the media narrative against Diana. Now he can't control a single headline. His team ran Operation PB, rehabilitate Camilla by diminishing Diana. Friendly journalists got access, unfriendly ones frozen out. He pointed the press at Diana like a weapon. Harry's Netflix series, Andrew's arrest on every front page, Camilla's polling alongside every photograph. The weapon he built now fires at him. He pointed the press at Diana like a weapon, and now he can't control a single headline. The weapon he built is firing at him. The press misfired, but what Diana lived every single day Noé inside the palace, that found its way back too. She was a prisoner in her own home. Now he is. Number 6, the cage mirror. Diana was isolated inside the palace by design. Charles is now isolated inside his own family by consequence. Diana told Morton she felt like a prisoner. Calls monitored. Staff reported her movements, friends removed. Harry in Montecito. William building a parallel monarchy. Andrew under investigation. And honestly, this is the part that gets me. Charles sits at the center of a family scattered in every direction. Does that sound like a king? Or a man reaping exactly what he sowed? Diana was a prisoner by his design. And now his family has scattered to every corner. Diana isolated by design. Charles isolated by karma. Isolated, caged. But what comes next is the verdict, the number the public delivered, 23%. That's all Camilla has. Number 7, the fitness mirror. Charles told Diana she wasn't fit to be queen. 77% of Britain says the same about Camilla. Diana said it in Panorama. I don't think many people will want me to be queen. And that wasn't her own assessment, she'd been told. Ipsos April 2025. Only 23% said Queen Camilla. 30% preferred Queen Consort. 17% said no title at all. 20 years of rehabilitation. The public has not accepted the substitution, and we haven't reached Karma 9 yet. The one Diana said broke her completely. Still coming. He told Diana she wasn't fit, and the woman he put in her place? 77% reject her title. Charles was wrong about Diana, and wrong about Camilla. The rejection confirmed. But what comes next isn't about Camilla. It's a jealousy Charles couldn't shake. He was jealous of his wife's popularity. Now he's jealous of his son's. Number 8, the jealousy mirror. Charles made Diana feel like her popularity was a problem. Now his own son's popularity is his problem. But here's where it shifts. Diana outshone Charles at every event. Charles treated her popularity as a threat. November 2025. Ipsos, William, 65% favorable. Charles, 51%. The same insecurity that turned Charles against Diana is now straining his relationship with his own heir. He learned nothing, same pattern, different decade. He was jealous of his own wife, and now jealous of his own son. Same man, same insecurity. 30 years later, he learned absolutely nothing. But 9 is the cruelty Diana said broke her most completely. They said she couldn't function. His reign can't either. Number 9, the function mirror. Charles told the world Diana needed psychiatric help to function. The world now asks the same about his reign. Actually, let me rephrase. Nobody questions his mind, but whether his reign can function? Cancer, a brother arrested, a son who won't come home, a press that no longer accepts briefings at face value. Diana said that to 54 million people. Mental health language as a precision weapon, too fragile to be trusted, too emotional to be believed, and now every word used against her describes his institution. They said Diana couldn't function, and now his institution is the one that can't function. Every word used against her now describes him. 9 mirrors, all returned, but 10 through 14, the children. I want to show you the final mirror, the one that ends all 20. But first, this. What Charles did to Diana as a mother, and what those sons are doing right now. Starting with Christmas, 1992. Karma 10 starts with Christmas, 1992. Diana at Kensington Palace, alone. Protocol took her sons. Number 10, the Christmas mirror. Diana spent Christmas 1992 without her sons. Charles now spends every Christmas without Harry. Protocol placed the boys at Sandringham. Diana spent Christmas alone. Harry hasn't spent Christmas with Charles since 2018. Montecito, Meghan, Archie, Lilibet. Charles sends invitations. Harry doesn't come. Diana lost those Christmases by protocol. Charles loses them by choice. Harry's choice. The man who used protocol to separate a mother from her sons at Christmas now sits at Sandringham with an empty chair. Diana spent Christmas alone because of rules. Charles sits at Sandringham without Harry because Harry chose to go. Diana's loss was taken from her. Charles's was earned. Diana lost Christmases to protocol. What comes next is what Harry did when the same institution offered him the same terms. He looked at the institution that left his mother unprotected and walked out. Number 11, the protection mirror. Charles stripped Diana of her royal protection after the divorce. Harry walked away when the institution refused to protect his family. After the 1996 divorce, Diana lost her police protection. Unprotected. January 2020. Harry steps back. Harry asked for the one thing Diana never got. They said no. He left. Let that land. Diana's son refused the same terms for his own children. They left Diana without protection. And when the same institution offered Harry the same deal, he took his children and left. Harry walked out, but not quietly, not without leaving evidence. 416 pages in 15 languages, and Charles built every single one of them. Number 12, the silence mirror. Charles enforced silence over what happened. His own son ended it in 15 languages. After Diana died, Harry was 12, walking behind his mother's coffin for 2 billion people. 30 years later, spare, the moment he was told she was dead. Every silenced question became 416 pages in 15 languages. A 12-year-old who wasn't allowed to cry eventually wrote it all down. A 12-year-old walked behind his mother's coffin and wasn't allowed to cry. 30 years later, 416 pages. Charles built that silence. Harry demolished it with evidence. The silence was broken. But whose side Diana's sons landed on, that answer came not in words, but actions. Both sons chose Diana, not Charles. Number 13, the inheritance mirror. Charles expected Diana's sons to carry his legacy. Both chose hers. Stay with me on this. Diana's sapphire ring on Kate's finger. Diana's cause on William's platform. Diana's name on Harry's daughter. Charles handed them the crown and expected them to serve him. They both chose her. The ring, the name, the platform. Both chose Diana. Charles handed them the crown and expected them to serve him, and they both chose her. They chose her legacy, but William's final verdict, carved in constitutional stone forever, is coming right now. Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. Number 14, the motherhood mirror. Charles let the palace question whether Diana was a good mother. William answered, in his daughter's name, and made the answer permanent. The palace implied Diana's emotional state made her a risk to her children. She died wondering if the world believed her. May 2015. Charlotte Elizabeth Diana. William wrote his verdict into his daughter's name. Diana inscribed in the line of succession. Not honored, constitutionalized, carried through centuries of monarchs. We're almost at 20 now, the one that proves Diana's son already won. They questioned her fitness as a mother, and her son named his daughter after her. Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, in the line of succession, forever. 14 mirrors, but the last 6 are about what happened after Diana died. Charles thought the story was over. He was wrong. Charles thought once Diana was gone, he was safe. The erasure he planned for 30 years begins with 15. It failed, completely, and backfired. Number 15, the erasure mirror. Charles spent 30 years trying to erase Diana's memory. Diana's memory erased Camilla's legitimacy instead. After Diana's death, Operation PB accelerated. No, accelerated is too gentle. It went into overdrive. It didn't fade. It grew. Her statue, her ring on Kate's hand, her name in the succession. Only 23% support Queen Camilla. The erasure became the engine keeping Diana present. 30 years. Millions of pounds, Operation PB. and Diana's statue stands at the palace. Her ring is on Kate's hand. The erasure backfired completely. The erasure backfired, and the reason why. The mirror that exposes his biggest miscalculation is what comes next. He tried to own Diana's story. It escaped. Number 16. The narrative mirror. Charles tried to manage Diana's narrative with total precision. It escaped. 28 years later, The Crown reached 73 million Netflix households. Morton's book reprinted continuously since 1992. The narrative Charles tried to close is the most reproduced royal story in history. What does that tell you? He expected time to make people forget. 28 years later, they remember more. Time was supposed to be his ally. It became Diana's. The story escaped, but what William is building on top of the ruins looks nothing like Charles's version, Diana-shaped, every single plank of it. Number 17, the institution mirror. Charles used the monarchy to diminish Diana. Its future is now being built on her foundations. The coronation declared the substitution complete. Camilla beside him, the institution validating 20 years of rehabilitation. William is the monarchy's future, and it carries Diana's blueprint. His platform is her cause. His wife carries her ring. Charles built his coronation around Camilla. His heir built his legacy around Diana. He used the entire monarchy against Diana, and William is using that same monarchy to build her legacy. The monarchy itself chose Diana. The institution rebuilds for Diana. But the oldest question, whose version the world believed, has been permanently settled. The world chose Diana's version in 1995. It hasn't changed its mind once in 30 years. Number 18, the version mirror. Charles told his version in 1994. The world chose Diana's. June 1994, Dimbleby interview. Charles admitted the affair, every structural advantage. November 1995, Diana, a black dress. No palace authorization. 54 million viewers. The verdict was immediate, and it has never, not once in 30 years, reversed. He went first. He had the palace, the cameras, the timing, and the world chose her. They always did. They always will. The world chose Diana. But Charles made one final official move against her, and what she took in return can't be measured. He took 3 letters, HRH. Diana took the country's heart, number 19. The title mirror. Charles took Diana's title when they divorced. Diana took something Charles will never get back. August 1996. Diana stripped of Her Royal Highness, no, designed to erase. Her funeral, 2.5 billion viewers. Her name trends every August 31st. Charles took 3 letters. Diana took the permanent, irreversible love of the British public. Let that land for a second. 3 letters. He took 3 letters from her, and Diana took the country. You can't wear hearts on your head, but you can't feel a crown in your chest either. Diana won. He took her title. She took their hearts. And the final mirror, the one that ends all 20, is the lie that started it all. He told the world Diana was replaceable. Number 20, the replacement mirror. Charles's greatest cruelty was making Diana feel replaceable. His greatest karma is spending 28 years discovering she wasn't. He replaced Diana, his marriage, his coronation, his Christmas cards. I know that sounds harsh, but that's exactly what he did. He told the world she was exchangeable. 28 years answered. 23% support Queen Camilla, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, the ring, the statue. None of it accepted the substitution. Diana was not replaceable. She was the foundation. What Charles built on top of her removal is crumbling, because you cannot build a monarchy on the lie that she didn't matter. Not punishment, not revenge. You're watching truth. That's all this is. Diana was irreplaceable. She always was. She always will be. He spent 28 years trying to prove Diana didn't matter, and every year she mattered more. The ring is hers. The statue is hers. The name is in the succession. He failed. That is justice. 20 things Charles did to Diana, and 20 ways they all came back to him. But there's still one thing Charles is counting on to survive all of this. one card he's held since 1997 that he believes will eventually protect him, and it's this: time. He's betting that the world will eventually forget Diana, that a generation will arrive that didn't grow up loving her, that the wound will close in his favor. If you want to see the 20 rules William has already broken to make sure that never happens, that video is right here.